Yes.
Awesome.
Please join us for our first sing-along song called God is My Source. You'll find the words right up here, and hopefully you're big enough to see.
You all. So welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in beautiful San Clemente. We live in a beautiful place, let me tell you. I was up north for a month and it's pretty up there, but it's all smoke. All, everywhere. Flew home last night. All of California covered with smoke. So in our prayers, we need to keep all those people in our prayers, and that the winds die down and the rains come and everything's gone away. So whoever you are and whatever path you're on, you're welcome here. We are a non-denominational, all-inclusive center, and we love you. So welcome home. We're going to start the service with our Flames of Faith. This is a call to service. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence we call Spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience. And we honor each one here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and the practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path by living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring that Christ consciousness as a path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and the path of peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Anita Baroldi lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here to this center this morning. Now I invite you to join me in prayer. And we join together in this cosmic stream of pure loving God consciousness, knowing that there is truly only one life, one beauty, one divine essence. And this beloved energy, this vitality, this essence lives and moves and has its beautiful expression through each one of us. For we are the excellent idea in the mind of God. We are the adventuresome. We are the joy. We are the compassion, the kindness, and the unconditional love. That's who we are. And we are the sacred activity of this energy. So this morning I affirm and I do decree that all is well. And each one of us is here this morning on purpose. And we listen this morning to Dr. Heather's message with our spiritual ears, letting all the wisdom come through us and to us so that we can use it in our daily lives. For we know that what we think about, we bring about. And this morning, we're alive, we're awake, and we are aware of this divinity within us. So everything unfolds in perfect divine right order. And so for this truth that sets each one of us free, I give thanks. As I place my words into divine mind, my heart is full of gratitude for this teaching, for this community, for this love. And I anchor this prayer in confidence, I anchor it in compassion, and I anchor it in wisdom. And please say with me, and so it is. I'd like to invite Hans Smith up to read our affirmation and declaration.
Good morning. Is this thing on? Yeah. Okay, we're going to read our Declaration of Principles. Follow along. I believe in God, the one creative intelligence, operating through the universe and operating throughout my entire being, now and always. I believe His perfect Spirit operates on the law of mind and creates my experience exactly according to my belief. I believe His perfect creative intelligence can be used by me and by every other person to produce health, abundance, and love in mind, body, and total life experience. I use it now, and I rejoice in it, and so it is. You did that very well.
Thank you.
Okay, and now our affirmation. Let's keep it going together. Beginning right now, I commit to doing my spiritual practices faithfully, consistently, and with deep intention and attention.
I am changing for the
Better, I am open to love, compassion, prosperity, and joy in my life right now, and so it is.
Thank you, Hans. And please welcome our soloist today, Debbie Wheeler.
I am unwritten, can't read my mind, I'm undefined. I'm just beginning, the pen's in my hand, ending unplanned. Staring at the blank page before me, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken, live your life with arms wide open to ladies. Where your book begins, the rest is still unwritten. I break traditions. Sometimes my tries are outside the lines. We've been conditioned to not make mistakes, but I can't live that way. Staring at the blank page before me, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you cannot find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in.
so much, Debbie. Who sang that?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I do know, but thank you. Natasha Beddington. And I always loved it. And I think one of our colleagues, Michelle in New Jersey, used that song in her service when it first came out. And I thought, wow, she really understands, because it is about living your life. Feel the rain on your skin. Speak the words as yet unspoken. Live your life, in other words, live it fully. So my message is treatment is about thought. Treatment is about thought, and actually that's all it is. Treatment is about thought. Spiritual mind treatment, or affirmative for prayer, is a mental process. Mental, spiritual process. So it's a consciousness process. And it's really important that we can look at it that way as we gain spiritual maturity. So we're not thinking that we're changing conditions. There's nothing to change, there's nothing to fix. There is something to know. There's something to know at every level, every fiber of our being. And that is, God is, I am. That is, there is only one life. It is God's life. It is my life now. That is what we're knowing with every moment. I'd like to just take a moment and Reverend Judy referred to this both in her meditation and her prayer. We lost one of our original members yesterday. He passed away at 5:30, Ted Bowen. And he was in hospital, and he was not expected to make it. So it wasn't unexpected to Reverend Aline. But let's hold them both in our hearts and just take a moment. I know many of you don't know, but just think, someone that was part of starting this center originally here in San Clemente, and just with great gratitude for him and for his consciousness and whatever he did over the years. He did many things. Just take a moment, please. Thank you. So Ernest Holmes says, we continue our treatments for as long as it takes, whether it is 5 minutes, whether it's 5 minutes, 5 months, or 5 years. We continue until we get the result. 5 minutes, okay. What if it takes 6 years? You probably haven't got clear about what your treatment is, because it's done in your mind. As soon as you are convinced of it, it must take place. That is how it works. It isn't about fixing someone else. It's about changing your own mind so that you can see and perceive things clearly through spiritual eyes. Seeing us, so when someone makes a transition, it really, if you can look at it as their spiritual being continues, and they're just released of a body that no longer worked for them any longer. And that is the healthy-minded way to look at it, so we can actually celebrate his life and not mourn his passing, although it would be very strange if we weren't a little bit sad. So we allow ourselves to do both. 5 minutes, 5 years, 5 minutes, 5 months, or 5 years. So think about it. Everything is consciousness. And how does consciousness come? It comes from our beliefs. What we have come to believe is true then becomes our experience, because we're perceiving it everywhere. Think about when you first started thinking that, let's say, money is scarce. Let's say life is unfair. Let's say God is good. When you first started thinking that thought, when you first noticed you were thinking it was probably long after you first started thinking it. For most of us, our collected consciousness within us, or what we believe, is very long in the making. Years and years and years and years. So why do we expect to find a tool in a center like this that can change that consciousness immediately, in the twinkling of an eye? We need to persevere. We need to, so the first thing is, you learn the tools, you use the tools consistently, to use them, steadfastly, knowing that the results must demonstrate, because you already know it, you already see it in your mind. As one right brother said to the other, "Don't worry, brother. I have seen it in my mind. It must happen. We must be able to take flight." Because the imagination was so clear. So for us, when we are accepting our heritage of abundance, of well-being, of love, of whatever it is that we want to experience more of, if our consciousness started in the cradle, and we're my age, I know most of you aren't, but if we're that old, it's been a lot of years growing. So therefore, we need to be patient as we're changing that consciousness, as we are persisting in a new idea, and absolutely unwilling to give up our greater good. Whatever it is, your idea, if you know it's the truth for you, it will manifest as truth. But it does depend on you really knowing the truth. What I did, Reverend Elaine, first of all, I want to acknowledge we haven't seen Reverend Elaine and Ted for a long time. And many of you have asked me what happened. And the answer is clearly, I do not know. I know something happened. There were hurt feelings on Elaine's part, and probably Ted's part, and I apologized as often as I could. And sent letters, anyway, nothing happened. Well, that's what we could say. But Friday, I got a text from Reverend Karen saying, Ted Bowen is in the hospital. He's not expected to leave. And he isn't accepting visitors, but Dr. Heather needs to know. I thought, well, that's interesting. I need to know. So I called her right away, and she said, I knew you'd call me. And we had the most wonderful dinner. It was like we had never stopped talking. It was a demonstration of love. And I had seen Dad, and I prayed for him in his room. And then yesterday, because I happened to be going to Mission Hospital anyway, because our friend Faith Strong is in Mission Hospital. And so I just, okay, I can go to both places. So I saw Ted yesterday as well. He was still with us on this side. And again, I prayed. Some will ask, well, why didn't your treatment work? How do we know it didn't? How do we know that that freedom, the release from the pain of a body that didn't serve him any longer, wasn't? That might have been I was not praying specifically for him to take his bed up and walk like Jesus did. I was praying that he would know he's surrounded by love, that he is loved wherever he is, and he is free to do whatever is his next thing to do. But nevertheless, when Reverend Elaine called me last night and told me, I was really shaken because.
And so I went for a walk. It was a beautiful evening to go for a walk. And all of this is very strange behavior for the night of my planning my message. So, if you didn't get a program, would you please raise your hands, and ushers, would you please deliver a program, because everybody needs the program. Okay, so there's some people that came in without a program. Just keep it up. Raise your hands again, they didn't see you. Okay, so Kimberly and Wade here. Donna, yeah, Kimberly and Wade. Okay, so, and if you open it to, so when I went for my walk, I was reminded of a process that we used to do in our Wise Women workshops. I know the men used to call it the Wild Women workshops, but it was the Wise Women workshops. And we had it in a spa in Desert Hot Springs, and it was really great. And the process we did was about self-love. And we sang this to each other, but we're not going to sing it to one another right now. There's a sheet that says, "How could anyone?" It's a song written by Libby Roderick. And I'm going to say it to you, and then you're going to say it to me. Okay. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul. Now, say it to the person beside you. Okay. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected with my soul. Connect with that beautiful being. It's a powerful, powerful song. It's the truth. Every single person here makes a difference just by being who you are, by being the love you are, by connecting with each other, by being willing to share, by being willing to forgive, by being willing to give feedback, to tell the truth, consistently to tell the truth. At least the number of people who are here, there are at least that many people who've been here over the years and are no longer here. Some of them have made their transition like Ted, and lots of them have just stopped coming. And each one of them is precious to all of us. Each one. You make a difference. The people here in this room make a difference. You make a difference because you're you. You make a difference whether you're well or sick. You make a difference whether you're rich or poor. You make a difference whether you think you found something better than science of mind, and you may have, or whether you think this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Oh, we don't eat bread anymore. The greatest thing since sliced vegetables. So it doesn't matter. It's like you make a difference. You're part of this community. And when you're not here, a part of this community isn't here. And it hurts. It hurts all of us. It doesn't just hurt me. It hurts all of us. And do your part, please. Call. If you see someone is not here, call them up and say, you know, I missed you. If you can't come, maybe I could help you out. I know some of you, especially in our Shifting Sands group, have been really good about reaching out to your friends and making sure that they had a ride if they weren't able to try, whatever it is. It sort of sounds like I'm making a lecture, but maybe I am. It was really about me, because what I learned is every time I reconnect with someone that I've been disconnected from, I'm so much brighter, bigger, happier, more complete, and better, and better. And I know that the same is for you. So let's just notice. Let's tell each other the truth and walk each other home. As a kid, I was in a very small village. I mean, the whole village was only about 10 blocks. But my girlfriend and I would walk each other partway home. I'd walk partway to her place, and then she'd walk me halfway to my place, then I'd walk her halfway. It was just this way of hanging out together, spending more time together, of connecting. And that's what we're here to do. And on the bottom of the page with the song, there's a quote from Rumi that is one of my favorites, and I think this one is also for all of us. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. It doesn't matter. Ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, even if you've broken your vows 1,000 times. Come, yet again. Come, come. To each and every one of us, I love you so much. I'm glad you were here this morning. Namaste. I get to pray now. I'm thinking, where's the band? Oh, because the band doesn't come yet. Okay. I need this. I'm going to pray in the first person. And I invite everyone to accept that what I'm saying is true for each one. I know that there's only one life, and that life is God's life. It's whole, complete, and perfect. It is the life of the creative mind. It is the life of that indivisible wholeness, of that eternal oneness, that well-being, that one life that is vitality and energy and consciousness itself. And it is forever manifesting. It's forever dressing up in our bodies, as us. So I know for myself, I am one with this life. And that every word that I speak is a prayer. Every single word, every action is a prayer. Every thought is a prayer. And I persevere. I consistently and consciously say yes, yes, yes to greater good, to more connection, to friendships that are deep and meaningful and transformative. I say yes, yes, yes to a healthy, vital body that is ageless and serves me well, strong and flexible. I say yes, yes, yes to greater and greater experience of prosperity in all of its forms, including money, including time, including talent, all of its forms, more and more and more. And I say a sacred yes to that creative process that is God in us, God in me. It's those divine ideas that come flooding in, saying, this is my gift as you. And so I pay attention to those ideas. I say yes to them, and I use them in my writing, in my speaking, in my creating, in whatever artistic ways I'm led to use them. I know each one is given to me on purpose because it is for me to give back. I'm so very grateful for knowing what I know. I'm grateful that the law always says yes. The law is always working, and this is a mental, spiritual universe. And so with my heart filled with gratitude for all the great good that each person who's been part of our center for the 50 years, during the 50 years that we've been a center, a Church of Religious Science, that we've been a community, I give thanks for each one. I give thanks for the manifestation of this word. It's done, it's complete, and please help me to anchor it by saying with me, and so it is. And now, Debbie Wheeler.
Thank you so much. As service started this morning, I had an overwhelming feeling of emotion. And as the service has gone on, it's just the love in here it's like waves. They're just palpable. So I feel very blessed this morning. Thank you. I thought I did what's right. I thought I had the answers. I thought I chose the surest road, but that road brought me here. So I put up a fight, and I told you how to help me. And just as I have given up, the truth is coming clear. You know better than I do. You know the way. I've let go the need to know why. For you know better than I. If this has been a test, I cannot see the reason, but maybe knowing I don't know is part of getting through. I try to do what's best, and fate has made it easy. The best thing I can do is put my trust in you. For you know better than I. You know the way. I've let go the need to know why. For you know better than I saw one cloud and thought it was the sky. I saw a bird and thought that I could follow. It was you who taught that bird to fly. If I let you reach me, will you teach me? For you know better than I. You know the way. Let go the need to know why. I'll take what answers you supply. You know better than
Another perfect song. Thank you, Debbie. Wow. It's time for us to share our gifts, our tithes, our offerings, and just before the stewards come forward, I'd like to remind you that this center is completely supported by the people who attend it. And if you would like to make a pledge to this center, it's never too late. We would take it into 2019 because that, of course, is going to come up in a bit. And there are cards in the chairs in front of you. And if you're wondering, well, what is she talking about? There's a a card called a pledge card, and it assists you in deciding what it is that you're going to commit to giving, if this is your spiritual home. We're so happy that you do support it. Now, if the stewards would come forward, please. And if you ever need to change your pledge, just a quick call to Karen Allen, our bookkeeper, Reverend Karen Allen, will take care of that. Okay, so we take a moment and we read our prosperity affirmation, and then in silent gratitude, and then we go on to sing I Am So Blessed. So please join me. My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply, and symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply. that began with Blessed Always, and then our whole offering, and then the beautiful song. Another spiritual practice is service. And some of you are in service today or have been in service this week. If that's you, would you please stand so we can give you a lot of love. So grateful for you all. And then if the practitioners remain standing, practitioners are trained in the art and science of affirmative prayer. If you want your life transformed, make an appointment to see one of these people to get a taste of it on Sunday. Go to the affirmative prayer tables in the back or into the tranquility room. And the people who are in service today are Aidan Greeny, Hans Smith, Anita Baroldi, and Donna Wallace. Let's acknowledge our practitioners. So grateful for you. And if you're visiting us for the very first time, we would like to acknowledge you. So anyone here for the first time? Okay. Oh, good. Welcome. So we're going to affirm you. So the congregation is going to repeat after me. Welcome to our center.
Welcome to our center.
We know who you are.
We know who you are.
You're a spiritual being having a spiritual experience.
You're a spiritual being having a spiritual experience.
We know for you prosperity.
We know for you prosperity.
We know for you love.
We know for you love.
We know for you great ideas
We know for you great ideas
and perfect health.
and perfect health.
Welcome home.
Welcome home.
And let's acknowledge that, yes. You should have received a little gift, and in it there's a information card, and you just take that. Oh, there is more. Would these be the announcements?
Announcements.
Okay. All right.
So what's your bag, man? We got gnarly stuff for everyone to do around here.
I hear we have a Cosmic Connection sit-in today after the service.
Well, it's called Conscious Connection because, like, we're all connected cosmically, but we, like, need to get conscious to it.
That is so pathetic. And on Wednesday, you can hang with the hip and happening Dave Friedman. He's gonna lay it on you about how do you feel.
How does it feel?
It's called How Do You Feel?
I feel groovy, man.
Awesome, dude. Hey, come on out on Wednesday at 7 and you'll feel even groovier. And on the flip side, Dave is also leading the men's group tomorrow night at 7.
So he's, like, representing the man?
Don't be such a square. It's just the men's group. They're all really tight.
Oh, so there's something far out happening every night of the week around here? So, like, what happens on, like, Thursday?
Well, tool on over and radiate some positive vibes with Mary Brogdon and those bookbusters from 6:30 to 8:30. They're studying this boss book called Home with God by Neil Donald Walsh.
Oh, psychedelic. This Friday, August 17th, we got a happening. It's movie night here at 7:30, and the flick is called The Power of the Heart.
Is it like flower power, man?
Sorta. Science, they say science has discovered, like, that the heart communicates to the brain and not the other way around.
Wow, I am stoked. If you want to check it out in advance, you can go to poweroftheheart.com. And after the viewing, we're going to have a rap session. It won't cost you any scratch. And munchies will be available.
All right. Your vibe attracts your tribe, man. So, like, take me out to the ball game next Sunday after the service. This is an opportunity to have some family fun and be wise, socialize, exercise.
You want to hang with the beautiful people? Well, we're all going to catch some rays at Vista Hermosa Sports Park. Bring your own hat, gloves, seat cushion, sunscreen, shades, water bottle, anything you want.
So Dr. Heather's taking you to Fat City with a new 5-week class beginning Tuesday, August 28th from 6:30 to 8:30. Get the inside dope on her personal secrets of prosperity.
And coming soon, you want to jam with the Chimers Club? Well, we'll clue you in the next few weeks.
So before we truck on out of here, let's bring in the next generation, man.
Peace, love, and rock and roll!